AI and aggregated technology to to turn it into anonymous data for candidates. So we could say, hey, in this state or in this district, 500 people are saying something around this issue. So it could be like converting open-ended opinions into digestible data sets that actually gain power. That like, look, most of the people in this district are just all they want is they don't want that playground torn down, and like the city's about to knock down their playground, and that's the big issue they have, that they want their kids to have a playground. Or it could be a local issue, state issue. So these are all like newer ways to track information. Like, as we know, the pollsters data is getting less and less accurate these days because they're tracking on old behaviors, that they want to know what a typical Democrat wants, a typical Republican, a likely voter. And we want to blow that up, that like everything's being unpredictable now, that most people, they're not even identifying as Democrat or Republican as much, and everything's changing. And so the pollsters data is actually getting less and less predictable. We want to be more open-ended, that you could any citizen could give their opinion, and then we're going to find a way to make that have weight towards a certain issue, a certain change that people want. So that's part of this as well, submitting these the concerns they have, priorities that they want as citizens. So this is all, everything that we're just talking about right now is live. And then even with the five candidates with a cluster, at some point we're going to create a ranked choice voting for them, that like the 5 candidates running against each other, like in some way working together, but then eventually against each other, they're going to do a ranked choice voting where you can rank the 5 candidates in your own preference to let them know which candidate of the 5 of them you want. And then that's where 4 of them will drop out. So we're gonna have that implemented. Once they have to decide what time to launch the timing on that, but it'll be able to rank citizens can rank their preference out of those 5 candidates, which one they like. That's ready to be implemented when they're ready for that to happen. Yeah, so those are a lot of the things. I guess the last thing I'll say here is micro actions is a side task. So micro actions are ways that citizens could get more candidates on our system, get more citizens on. It's all right now, again, like this is the reason why like 15 plus tech companies have failed to build anything even remotely like this, is all about the buy-in, that it's not valuable unless people are actually using it. And it's a chicken or the egg. More candidates would come if there's a lot of citizens there, and a lot of citizens would be there if a lot of candidates were there. And so that's why we're not a tech company. We're an outreach. We focus on like outreach. So we're building a network in Nevada to get these candidates involved. We're talking to Alexis Hill. She's running for Democratic candidate for governor in Nevada. So we're working on getting her a profile. And so the more these candidates support this, create a profile, and then funnel their voters to this system, it's kind of like lifts all grassroots candidates. So if you're telling your voters to come on, support you, then those voters are going to see other candidates, and then other candidates are going to have their supporters come on. So it's just a way that like everyone that has a reason to funnel them to this system promotes the whole system as a whole, a level playing field, more choices, and healthy data gathering of like what the priorities are for the citizens. So the micro actions are different ways to get more citizens on this, more candidates on this. Some of it's just like emailing a candidate saying, please claim your profile on FINC. We want your information. I want to know, should I support you? And so it's actually it's about like giving public pressure to the candidates, either email or even social media, to tag them on Instagram and Facebook, stuff like that. So that we have mechanisms for that. You can just click a button and then tag a candidate, and it just adds public pressure to get them to claim their profile. So there's a lot of different micro actions that we're creating. That's like social media. It's stuff like 5 minutes a week. You could do a little small action. It either gets more citizens on board or gets more candidates on board, and just grows everything. So those are a lot of the main features.
You did cover everything, really.
Yeah.
And you did cover everything. That was really good. You went right down the line. Now, here's my question, because you are really developing in Nevada. If I get to the point where I get that website up, am I welcome to start with your system?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the only reason we're focusing on one state is just like just the value of a citizen. Like the more they could see all their choices in one area, the more value, the immediate value that we're providing. But yeah, absolutely. We have somebody in South Carolina. We have somebody, I think, in Missouri. We have people all over. So we're willing to, yeah, we'll take anyone nationwide. And then even if there's a plug to get several people in a different state, we'll focus our attention in a second state if we know specifically we could pull some more candidates in. So we'll go with the flow, basically.
Well, I love the idea of clustering because I think there may be 5 or 6 others that want to cluster with me on a national level out of the blue and say, hey, what about us? And what about us? What about them? What about me? Because the fact of the matter is, when we look at what's happening right now, especially on the macro, I'm talking president right now. We're looking at like Gavin Newsom, who I'm not really impressed with. We're looking at Andrea Ocasio-Cortez, who I'm not really impressed with. We're looking at I'm not going to knock people down. They're committed government servants and they're committed to what they do, their sense of mission, if that's what you want to call it. But I would love to see just straight up, I forget who is the guy, Bob the plumber or something, that ultimately with John McCain became sort of popular. I forget who he was, but he wasn't really a politician, but he sort of got some sort of notoriety for something. But there's some really intelligent people out there that might just cluster with me and say, hey, if I were president, I would do something this way. Now, I do have a definitive plan on several of the topics that keep coming up today, but I've been learning from my podcast as well some great solutions because I'm talking to great guests, including you, that really have great solutions for this enormous problem we're facing. But we also have these enormous opportunities now with social media, who I think everybody's sort of down on. But the fact of the matter is, it really does serve an important part of our life now. And so many other things, that the fact that so many voters are engaged just because of it's the Howard Stern effect. The people that don't like Donald Trump watch him and pay more attention and comment more about him than the people that really love him. They're just like, you know him already, so you don't really want to engage with him. You won't hear anything good about him. So, and that was Howard Stern's sort of notoriety. The people that hated him, I grew up in New York City when he did his first show or two, and it was like, he's hilarious. And then somebody in the room was like, he's disgusting and foul. And we all liked that about him, though, especially when we were kids. But I think it's incredible what you're doing. And I don't want to lose the moment, because I think sometimes we lose the moment with too long a podcast. This has been an incredible conversation. And like I said, I'm almost giving you I am working. First, I need to get the website up, and then I'm going to go jump right into your system, because I did want to ask that question. If you're focused on Nevada, or if you said, no, you're willing to take on more.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm willing to tell. I know I interviewed a Senate candidate, Todd Achilles, and he was Idaho, and I think I'm about to interview an independent governor for Colorado, an independent candidate governor for Colorado here shortly. And I'm really excited about that interview. And I always recommend to them FINC, because I think this is the way to go. This is really an avenue. It's just another outlet to really, and like you said, these things where the clustering and the citizens priority survey, especially locally and maybe nationally for all I know, but locally, you can accomplish a lot locally.
Yeah.
And so I think this is an incredible thing you're doing. But let me just look at my notes real quick and then see if you want to wrap it up, because the future home for America's politics is citizen-owned system, not owned by the big tech billionaires, which is another thing. I get it. I'm not opposed to big tech billionaires, but they do have too much power. And I think they too would be ready to surrender their power if other people kind of meddled in the circles of power. I think they're asked a lot of questions and they come up with a lot of answers. But I think if we change it around a little bit, if we flip the table a little bit, we're going to get more. We've seen a significant increase in citizen involvement in voting and opinion sharing. A lot of increase there. But did you want to talk about anything else in particular?
No, well, I guess one thing before we wrap up is just so even a timeline. Yeah, so definitely focus, like any candidate you built relationships with, just tell them to go to our typical, it's hub.futureis.org. If you just add /claim, I'll email you the link.
Yeah, please.
Any candidate could go to /claim, and then they can start their process of claiming a profile. And then we're very responsive. We'll make sure they get their full profile on there. They get their candidate card, so then they can share it on their existing socials as well. But by absolutely, we want candidates all over. I mean, the hope and the vision right now is that we start making a real splash in Nevada and just generally just getting more media attention, even if it's more independent media. But my hope is really to start getting a nationwide presence by November, by this election, not necessarily making a huge impact on it, but like just starting that a lot of people start knowing about this and that we're really prepped for like more influence next year and then super influence in the next presidential. I want to have a huge impact on the presidential. So we'll take it anywhere. I mean, right now it's all about just getting enough clout and wins to get media attention. The media attention will get us a lot more citizens, and then citizens get us more candidates. And then you're talking about exponential growth of just everyone funneling in. I mean, like, again, a huge benefit is like the clusters and just like every grassroots candidate, they're going to learn that, if I'm promoting my own profile, not only am I promoting me, but I'm promoting a level playing field. And then my allies in other races are also going to benefit from that. And the more I get candidates in, more our citizens in, the more you get citizens in, it's all of us are going to benefit everyone. And we get more data of what do people really care about. And like you said, on the local level and state level and federal. So, and as I've been starting to talking to the candidates about these newest features, yeah, they're really lighting up on the cluster feature is going to be a great one. And then just tracking what tags people like, and then the open-ended issues that they care about. And then just the more of like everyone who's anyone, independent media, citizens, candidates, movements, everyone benefits from this new system. As we have the benefit, like there's going to be a separate section for independent media, a separate section for movements as well, where they could have profiles. A movement can endorse certain candidates. Once we get that feature rolled into this, it'll be they could cluster candidates. So there's just so many benefits that so like if everyone benefits by funneling more people in, it benefits everyone, and then everyone's benefiting everyone. And the only one that's not benefiting is the status quo, is losing power and influence by doing this.
That would
So
be
that
incredible, because they coined the phrase with Elon Musk. They called it primarying, right? They coined that phrase. The fact of the matter is, it's been going on long before Trump and Elon. The fact of the matter is, big companies have told candidates, if you do not vote for this bill, we will primary you. This is not Elon Musk. This is other company. We'll spend $20 million on a candidate to challenge you in the primaries. We will, for this one vote. We will throw $20 million at the other guy. They know his name. They know he's got a standing in the community. They know he can raise hell with a lot of money. And so primary is nothing new. If you clip the wings out from all this, you get back down, you get to the root of things happening. You get to the root of things being able to happen. Because whenever something good starts, it only lasts until the special interest sticks their nose in it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just that simple. And we've seen this over and over again. I tell the story about the funniest story I mentioned Jamie Dimon, right? So Jamie Dimon, the CEO of JP Morgan Chase, Jeff Bezos of Amazon, and Warren Buffett of Berkshire got together and said they're going to start a health insurance company for just their employees. So combined, three companies was over 1 million employees. And they called this health insurance initiative for just their employees Haven. They put executives, they hired great insurance people to get together. And after 2 years, they decided the executives weren't really working together. They were kind of focused only on their one company, not the three combined, and they disbanded the effort, right? Out of that came Amazon Pharmaceutical, though. Long before they ever started this effort, Amazon bought PillPack, right? And then so they have this effort, then an Amazon Pharmaceutical launched in a big way. To the point where I literally got an email that says, if I want my eye drops, my insurance company had already switched to Amazon I need to be a Prime member. I'm like, what the fuck? I don't want to be a Prime member. But I mean, suddenly now I have to be a Prime member to get and I was getting them from local pharmacists. And then so they have Amazon Pharmaceutical will basically shut down all the local community pharmacies in the next few years. And then I heard about a drone program that Amazon has that only has a certain size package. One size package fits in these drones, which is basically pharmaceuticals. So you're going to have home delivery of pharmaceuticals in drones at some point coming from Amazon, which will really clothesline whatever is left of the community pharmacies. I mean, because my guy, certain things he's bringing to my house in his own car on his way home from work. So, I mean, And it's just, we're just having a lot. That was just an example of the way things
Yeah.
are going now. So
Yeah.
if we flip the tables, we get some stuff going, we could change it all in a big way. We could be that industry disruptor, that political industry disruptor. You would be the political industry disruptor. I just would still be doing what I do, just raising awareness, just talking to the greatest people on earth, doing great things and accomplishing a lot of them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's really the way. I think that's a beautiful way to wrap it up, because I'm really, like I said, I'm probably going to email you again in a month or two, and we're going to get together again and talk more about the next steps. Maybe we'll talk about my website, me already going in. Send me that email though, because that's how I'll get to my avenue into your system.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Yeah. So I guess for the wrap up so anyone listening in, it's hub.futureis.org. You can check out the hub. We have the candidate discovery. The homepage will show you different options. But yeah, we're moving a lot. We've been greatly evolving in the last couple months. And now we have like something real concrete. Before we had a concept to get buy-in. Now we have a physical, like digital physical landing spot for people to really add their name, share what they care about, and then they can start adding pressure to get more candidates involved. And there's
I'm going to tell all my
lot of,
candidates to jump in.
yeah,
I have a,
please, yes,
yeah,
yeah,
absolutely, absolutely. Because I'm going to tell all my candidates to do it. Well, this has been incredible. It's been an incredible conversation. As always, we're going to do it again in a month or two. Travis Misurell with FINC, the Future is Now Coalition, an incredible effort. It's coming together, like you said, beautifully. I mean, in the last 2 months, so many things have happened. I was going through, like you said, what you sent me, and I was like, wow, everything's changed. You got it together now. So,
yeah,
well, you had it together before, but I mean, you've got it significantly more together. I shouldn't have said it like that, but you got it's together. It's
yeah,
beautiful. I think it's amazing. I'm always fascinated with it. I'm always, when I'm not